This 2020-21 Vendee Globe Round the World Race Report is brought to you by Pantania's Professional Race Cover, your tailor-made racing yacht insurance.
Nicolas Troussel, sailing in CORUM has dismasted northwest of the Cape Verdes. French skipper Nicolas Troussel, who was lying in 7th place in the Vendee Globe, has dismasted on CORUM this morning. He was racing south, in brisk northeasterly trade wind conditions, some 260 nautical miles northwest of the Cape Verde Islands. Troussel, 46, was not injured, and is in the process of securing the boat, before further assessing the situation. The Vendee Globe continues to produce the unexpected. This morning Jean Le Cam has taken the lead on Yes We Can, by virtue of his easternmost position among the leading group. He has a 4-mile advantage over SAlex Thomson on Hugo Boss, who is 60 miles to windward of him. The westernmost skipper in the leading group is Charlie Dalin on Apivia. He is nearly 200 miles northwest of Le Cam, and is ranked down in 12th place, 133 miles off the lead, as the top boats begin to lose the influence of Tropical Storm Theta. Le Cam's performance continues to delight armchair sailors around the world, and especially in France, where he is something of a folk hero. Thomson, who is 4 miles behind the Frenchman this morning, paid tribute to the 61-year-old veteran. To be where he is with that boat, it is unbelievable, brilliant, he said. But Le Cam's performance underlines something else that few people could have predicted. In the early stages of the race at least, which admittedly have seen a good proportion of upwind sailing and rough weather, the older boats are more than holding their own. In the current top 10 positions, no less than 7 of the places are occupied by older boats. Yes We Can 1. Omea Water Family a 3, PRB a 5, Group Apicil a 6, Initiatives Car a 7, Metricoque IV a 9, and Bureau Valley 2 a 10. Of these older boats, 3 are non-foilers currently positioned 1, 3 and 6, and were built in either 2006 or 2007, while the others were built between 2009 and 2015, and were either early foilers, or have been retrofitted with foils. As far as the brand new boats are concerned, the story so far is of uneven performance, reliability issues, and a surprisingly poor representation in the top third of the fleet, especially given the mainly downwind conditions of the past few days. Some of that may be down to conservative sailing in the early stages of the race, and it may well be that once the fleet is racing in big downwind conditions in the south, the foilers and the newer boats will come to the fore. But Le Cam and his rivals in the older boats, who include outstanding skippers like Le Cam himself, Benjamin Dutroux, Kevin Escoffier, and Sam Davies, will be looking to confound those predictions. For the leaders, the game now is all about trying to escape a huge hole that is developing south of Theta's track, which could slow their progression into the northeast trade winds. The trades look fitful and patchy, and the skippers that get south fastest could build a lead on others trapped behind them. In an interview from on board early this morning, Thomson spoke about the challenge of Theta, which produced winds of 60 knots. The British sailor certainly put himself in harm's way, as he headed for the center of the depression, before jibing back out. Theta was not very pleasant for sure, he said. I would agree with the forecast that was given, so very windy and big seas, very gusty, not a very pleasant place to be. About the seas, I was not looking at how big they were, but on the way out of the system they were 6.5 meters. We are able to measure the height of the waves on board. I saw gusts to 60 knots and sustained winds of 50 knots for many minutes. You go there to be efficient to get through the low pressure, but as soon as you get near these kind of conditions, you just need to survive and not have any problems. While the leaders are now 750 miles north-northwest of the Cape Verde Islands and roughly 1,300 miles north of the doldrums, Jeremie Beyou is 3,300 miles northeast of them in Les Sables on board his much-damaged Charles. As he leads onto the trade winds motorway down the Atlantic, between the Canary Islands and the Cape Verdes, British skipper SAlex Thomson is expected to increase his lead at the head of the fleet as his foiling Hugo Boss hits its stride. Accelerating through the day, Thomson has shaken off veteran John Le Cam, averaging 2 knots faster, and is the only skipper in the race to have sailed more than 380 nautical miles in the last 24 hours. Northeast easterly trade winds of 20 to 22 knots are expected to blow for Thomson and the leading peloton over the coming days. Yesterday, 1 week into the race, has offered many skippers in the top group to take essential time to look after themselves, to wash, to make a treat to meal or drinks, to change into fresh clothes, as they prepare for what will still be a demanding, active period, even if it is a boat speed drag race on port jibe for several days. You can't forget the trade winds are not as stable as you maybe think, the direction still changes 10 to 15 degrees, and the wind will go up and down, there are still gusts, and so you have to be attentive, and there will be a lot of trimming to do, cautioned Sib Joss, who is serving as one of the Vendee Globe's meteo advisors. Skippers today expressed their admiration for Thomson's race so far. He has mastered the start of this race perfectly with his ingenious, efficient and well-prepared boat, commented guest of the Vendee Live French show this afternoon. Alex is going to take the fast train south, and that can quickly turn into a big lead, notes Thomas Ruyant from 4th place, linked out at over 120 miles behind Thomson. And Alex is hungry for it, but so am I. One of the pre-race favourites, Charlie Dalin, in 6th at 168 miles adrift of Hugo Boss, wants to stay in the match, but acknowledged. My decision to move out west was because the storm was too early on into the race to take any risks, and I did the calculation of what I could afford to lose, and try and make up. Alex went full on in the Theta depression, and that can give him to make a big margin. Dalin, the Apivia skipper, chuckled on the live show, "Wait for me guys, I am stoking up the coal, I'm coming." Hugo Boss is due at the latitude of the Cape Verde Islands tomorrow, and is expected to pass the doldrums on Tuesday. According to Vendee Globe weather specialist Christian Dumard, the leaders may be treated to a relatively straightforward crossing into the southern hemisphere. At the Port Alona pontoon in Les Sables, the technical team of experts have been working round the clock on board Charles, the damaged IMOCA of Jeremie Beyou, aiming to have it ready for Beyou to return to the course. Japanese skipper Koji Shiraishi has managed to lower his damaged mainsail on his DMG Mori, and is evaluating the options to repair the tear. Skippers have been rewarding themselves as they break into warmer climes. "It has been the first day with some time for me, it feels good," admitted third-placed Benjamin Dutroux Omiya, a water family. "I have been on the terrace, a cockpit, having a good coffee." Each has enjoyed their own way of treating themselves. Alan Roura, a La Fabrique, had his first shower, 1 litre of salt water, then 1 litre of fresh water.
If you're taking your racing to the next level, make sure your insurance is up to the challenge. Pantanius Professional Race Cover.
This 2020-21 Vendee Globe Round the World Race Report was brought to you by Pantanius Professional Race Cover, your tailor-made racing yacht insurance.